In the ever-evolving landscape of K-pop, where image and artistry intertwine to shape global icons, Rosé of BLACKPINK emerged in 2021 not just as a member of the world's most influential girl group, but as a solo force, an ethereal blend of elegance, raw emotion, and striking individuality. Her debut single album, arrived like a whisper turning into a storm, and with it came 2 music videos that would not only amplify her global reach but redefine the way fans around the world perceived her. On the Ground and Gone, 2 contrasting yet emotionally connected visuals, became the blueprint of a solo debut done right. Sonically haunting, visually breathtaking, and emotionally resonant in ways that echoed across continents. They weren't just music videos. They were statements, personal, powerful, and profoundly Rose. On the Ground, released in March 2021, was more than just a musical introduction. It was a visual and emotional awakening. The video opens in a whirlwind of flashing lights and cinematic frames, unveiling Rose in a series of stunning settings that felt like pages ripped from an art house dream. A burning limousine, a falling chandelier, and a solitary walk down an empty stage became metaphors for fame, emptiness, and the fragile pursuit of purpose. But among these symbolic visuals, what truly captivated fans was Rose herself, her aura glowing like stardust, her presence commanding yet delicate. The symbolism of an angel figure, bathed in light, floating between the pressures of fame and the purity of her own desires, made viewers stop, stare, and surrender to the story unfolding before them. The soft flutter of fabric as she moved, the intricate detailing of her attire, and the cinematic elegance of her silhouette contributed to the illusion that she wasn't merely acting, she was ascending. This celestial motif wasn't accidental. It spoke volumes about the narrative Rose was crafting, one of self-realization. The visuals in On the Ground supported the lyrics she sang with aching honesty. I worked my whole life just to get high, just to realize everything I need is on the ground. With each frame, she revealed another layer of vulnerability, wrapped in high fashion and poetic symbolism. Her wardrobe was thoughtfully chosen to reflect a divine duality, both grounded and goddess-like. As the scene shifts from luxury to introspection, Rose glides across screen with the grace of a falling petal, offering glimpses of who she is beneath the glitter of global stardom. The music video garnered over 40 million views within its first 24 hours. At the time, the most viewed debut MV by a Korean soloist. As of now, On the Ground has surpassed 383 million views on YouTube and secured a spot at number 70 on the Billboard Hot 100, making Rose the highest-charting female Korean soloist at the time. But she wasn't done. Just weeks later, Rose unveiled the second chapter of her solo narrative, Gone, a heartbreak anthem that oozed vulnerability from its very first guitar strum. If On the Ground was a declaration, Gone was a confession. Unlike its predecessor's grandeur, Gone embraced a more intimate aesthetic, candlelit gloom, grainy memories, and a sense of love slipping through time. The visuals followed Rose through dimly lit rooms, clawfoot bathtubs, and empty dinner tables. Her expression, soft and haunting, painted the ache of a heart that has silently unraveled. It was a universe away from BLACKPINK's usual power pop bombast. And that was the point. Rose wasn't trying to dazzle with explosions or choreography. She was giving us herself, unfiltered, undone, unforgettable. The styling in Gone elevated the narrative. From moody shadows to pastel filters, the aesthetic was painterly, evoking the atmosphere of a fading memory. In one particularly arresting scene, she stood draped in a flowy gown that shimmered with dreamlike textures, the kind of garment that clings to your vision long after the screen goes dark. Every camera angle seemed designed to highlight her fragility, yet paradoxically it made her appear stronger. Someone who's been through loss but continues to stand, eyes forward. The moment she sat barefoot on a worn-out couch, scribbling lyrics or tracing her fingers along forgotten objects, fans around the world felt a rush of recognition. Gone wasn't just a song, it was a mirror of our collective heartbreak, our quietest nights, and the people we once were before love left. Teasers for Gone alone made history. Within 24 hours of release, the teaser racked up over 14.1 million views, an unheard of number for a teaser clip by a female soloist in K-pop. When the full video dropped, it exploded onto YouTube, quickly surpassing the 300 million mark and climbing steadily. The reaction was immediate and immense. Global fans flooded forums with screenshots, interpretations, fan art, and cover versions. Rosé's expressive eyes, her hushed delivery, the cinematic loneliness of the MV. It all created an emotional wave that reached from Seoul to Sydney, Bangkok to Brooklyn. The emotional rawness of Gone became a fan favorite, often cited as one of the most artistically vulnerable moments in modern K-pop. Together On the Ground and Gone achieved a staggering 708 million combined views on YouTube to date, a visual testament to Rosé's influence as a solo artist. But their true legacy lies in how they reframed the possibilities of K-pop solo ventures. They weren't just successful because of the numbers. They resonated because they felt real. Because Rose, through her voice and her vision, reminded the world that even in an industry obsessed with perfection, there is unmatched power in emotional authenticity. She stepped out from the global phenomenon that is Blackpink and told her own story. And the world listened, watched, and wept with her. It is also important to recognize how her solo visuals influence global fashion and fan culture. The looks she wore became instant trends, dissected by stylists, copied by fans, and featured in fashion roundups from Seoul to Paris. Social media lit up with fan recreations and discussions about her styling choices. Rose became not just a music icon, but a modern muse. Her elegance wasn't just about aesthetics. It was about the feeling she gave off, that quiet yet unshakable strength wrapped in grace. Each outfit, whether soft and flowing or sharp and structured, told its own story, one that matched the tone of her music and her message. In interviews, Rose often talked about how involved she was in the creative process, how she spent sleepless nights shaping lyrics, reviewing visual treatments, and fine-tuning the emotional cadence of every note. That dedication translated into music videos that didn't just reflect a marketing strategy, they reflected a heart laid bare. Whether she was walking through fire or crying under dim lighting, you could feel that this wasn't performance, it was personal. And that's why people across languages and cultures felt drawn to her. She wasn't just a star. She was someone who dared to share her story. Even now, years after their release, On the Ground and Gone continue to influence the next wave of K-pop soloists. Newcomers study them not just for their commercial success, but for their emotional clarity. Fashion editors reference them. Visual directors quote them. Rose, through these 2 chapters of her artistry, set a new bar, one that fused vulnerability with vision, elegance with edge. She proved that going solo isn't about leaving something behind. It's about finding something deeper. And perhaps that's why On the Ground and Gone remain unforgettable. They weren't just beautifully shot videos with addictive melodies. They were stories, honest, heart-filled, human. Stories told by a girl who once sang in her bedroom, now standing before the world, not with noise but with nuance. In an era of overstimulation, Rose reminded everyone of the beauty in stillness. And in doing so, she became more than a soloist. She became a storyteller for the soul.